so as you can see, the car actually runs and is holding an idle. But what you can also notice if you look really close out back is the rings are obviously scrap because it's burning quite a bit of oil. And when you pull the breather off here, you can see quite a bit of blow-by pushing through the crankcase. So anyway, that's what you expect when you get a, kind of a car with a setup like this so cheap that it's been beat on time and time again. So eventually I'll rebuild the engine, but for now we're gonna throw some 2050 in this thing on the oil change and see if we can spin some tires and make some noise as it is. Look at all that gasoline in there. Thin as water. Getting the Walmart special today. 2050 going in. Fun fact for the day on Ford oil filters is they have the same threads as the Jeep oil filter. So the only difference is that the Jeep oil filter is a little bit shorter, so they don't hold as much capacity. But anyway, in this case, the stock oil filter design was hitting the frame, and whoever had this car before had some weird oil filter on it, but I went ahead and put the shorter Jeep 4.0 oil filter on there, and it fit in just perfect. All right, I'm adjusting the mix screws right now, and it's making a fairly steady 18 inches of vacuum. But anyway, so since it burns so much oil though, that just means that all the cylinders are evenly worn out. So anyway, the 20W50 seemed to do some good where it's not rolling smoke anymore, and we're holding over 40 pounds of oil pressure at a 600 RPM idle. So I think that'll get us by for now. So anyway, so far so good. All right, it's time to test the car under its own power for the first time. So I pushed it around here and have it backed in because I don't know if I trust reverse or not. So anyway, hopefully the transmission shifts. I haven't looked into that at all other than checking the fluid level, but I'm hopeful, but no guarantees there. I got my spark plug wires all loomed up here, the ROADKILL zip tie method. So they're all off the headers, and no two spark plugs that fire are anywhere close to touching together too bad, so we shouldn't have any issues with that. And you can see our super temporary sketchy fuel filtering system there. But anyway, I set the base timing on it to 10 degrees and kind of just rough set the idle mix screws with our vacuum gauge over there. And pretty much at this point we're ready to hop in and see if she'll even go down the road. All right, here we go. Maiden voyage. Starts right up pretty good. Now we got some decent oil pressure. So obviously our bearings are a little worn. So that thing's all whacked out. Let's see if we can find drive. Ooh, it's in gear. Holy heck, we're moving. Amazing. Oh, it's definitely manual steering on a power steering gearbox. We are actually driving down the road. Still got good oil pressure and good temp. And when we come around this corner, I'll reach over and grab second gear, but we are actually rolling down the road. Some good play in the steering wheel for sure. Oh boy. So, but it definitely runs. And we're not blowing a bunch of oil. Temps staying cool, so our radiator patch job worked. So we just grabbed second gear there. So the ratchet shifter works. That's impressive. I wouldn't have guessed that. Yeah, overall, pretty good. I'm not going to really ram on it till I get some ignition timing in it and a little bit better tune on everything, but so far it's success. Got some pretty wicked tire rub on bumps, so I'm gonna have to roll the fender on that, but anyway, can't complain. And there's first gear. All right, so after that first drive, we got some pretty good tire rub on the fender, and I'm not sure how someone drove this beforehand, but I can see where it's happened in the past, and it's even started to roll the fender on its own and chip the paint a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll the fender, more so bash the fender with a hammer, and we're gonna roll this lip in, and when the car sits down, that lip will be just outside the tire and we should be good. All right, nice. I'm happy with it. That should eliminate all the rub issues we've been having so far. All right, so I added some this Bardol stop smoke. I've always wanted to try it, and I've never had an engine that I necessarily didn't care about to the point where I was willing to try this stuff, but this engine's pretty wore out, so it seemed like a pretty good candidate since it's not going to be rebuilt anytime soon. So anyway, I went ahead and put this stuff in, and surprisingly enough, it's not smoking out the back near as bad, which I hope so, as this stuff is like just straight up solid just about. No smoke. All right, so I can finally breathe when I drive this vehicle. When it was going down the road, it had so much blow by that the fumes coming out of the breather were going back inside the vehicle, and it was literally choking me out. So I came up with this little idea here with these L brackets and then this heater hose, and I run it down and it exits under the vehicle. So I still need to cut my zip ties, but you can see here it comes down and ends under the vehicle where it's going to be behind me instead of going right in my window and my vent. So anyway, that's working out pretty well, which after I added that Bardol no smoke type stuff, it seemed to doesn't smoke bad at all. But anyway, so far we're moving right along. Car runs pretty decent. All right, so here we are in the Mazda. It's running pretty good, holding a steady idle, good oil pressure, holding a steady temp. So we're in good shape. So anyway, we'll just go through the gears, got everything adjusted so we can actually go into the gears now. So get down to first gear here, and away we go. So all the way through 3 gears, that's all the C4's got. So she's running pretty good.